Hi, I'm Kevin Randall, a highly skilled IT professional in Lake Stevens, Washington. I'm 57 years old and have a long history in IT, being involved in many organizational projects and growth cycles. My last job ended in November of 2025, and I have been looking for a new position ever since. I have applied to a lot of companies, however have not been chosen for employment with any. I have had 4 interviews from November until now. July 7, 2026. In 4 days, it will have been 8 months. I have tailored my resume. Each time I have applied to a different company, trying to highlight my skills for each type of role I have been reaching out for. I have the ability to serve as a team's lead or as a team member. I am a solution provider and workflow/problem fixer. However, that does not get the job. I am finding that the job goes to the person that has everything on paper that a company is looking for. This means that I should have been getting class time at school and certification documentation instead of, or including the work I have been doing in the field. Experience counts for nothing. So I am in a dilemma I had not foreseen. My lack of certifications places me in a situation where I am seen as not qualified to do the work I have spent a better part of my life perfecting. However, my experience in a lot of different facets is giving off the sense that I am overqualified for anything I'm applying for. A dilemma I am not quite able to overcome. Secondly, I have noticed that there is an engine at work that disturbs me. The condition that companies hiring managers, agencies, etc. have been relying on machine learning to find candidates. Built in a seemingly haphazardly fashion, these schemes do the disservice of weeding out candidates like myself. For example, if I place in my resume that I have more than 10 years of experience in Azure, however do not list that I hold a certification for Azure, I am overlooked. Although I have been involved with Azure since it was known as Project Red Dog from October 2008 until February of 2010, its beginning was roughly 17 years ago. Companies do not care, nor do they have the time, and in some cases, the ability to think that condition through. To say, I would like to have a candidate that knows the way around the system, however, overlook a person that has managed the system for over a decade for the lack of a certificate that says they have been taught the theory behind the system seems short-sighted in my opinion. However, like it or not, I am at the mercy of an engine that does not include me in its makeup. My age is also a factor, although it has yet to be proven. I am getting the sense that companies are thinking, at the age of this candidate, they should have gotten certifications and degrees for the things they say they can do. I suppose I should get a certificate for walking and talking at the same time while I am still able to. Although that sarcasm seems ridiculous, the job market is doing exactly the same thing when it wants a 2-year and $500 cert over a decade of real-world experience. I have trained people in every job I have done. Many of them thought in our initial time working together that I needed to be trained because I was not certified. However, as time progressed, they have found that not to be the case. I was teaching ways that are for me old basic skills that are new skills for them. Not being compensated for the skills they want, and worse, being expected to deliver and not properly compensated, has led to some abrasive situations in the past. However, the effect has not changed. Many companies do not have realistic views of the dynamic I am speaking about. More often when consulting, I would outline this dynamic, and the answer would come in the form of, "Oh, we don't have that problem here." That was always incorrect. I am looking at a posting from Boeing, the giant I have been applying to for over 25 years. There have been many of my friends and colleagues that have gotten jobs through Boeing, having less experience than I have, and no certifications when they started. I have never understood what the difference was between them and myself. However, overlooked was officially my middle name when it came to Boeing. Putting in the same application and getting passed over seemed like a job in itself. I have, to this day, never had so much as a phone call from Boeing. 25 plus years of being ghosted. Watching others get good positions and telling me, "You should apply, they are hiring desperately." This is a conversation I have had all too often, and in fact, had last night with the husband of my wife's work friend. Another statement of Boeing needing people so badly, however overlooking me. It starts to sound like whining, and I move on past it, but mindful that there are companies that no matter what you do or say, they just do not want you. So, at the time of this accounting, I'm applying to Boeing for the position of Information Technology Business Partner Mid-Level or Senior. I will get a rejection letter within 10 business days, or ghosted altogether, but I can say that I have done my part to be able to say I tried and have been rejected for 25 plus years. That could be a Guinness Book record.